Hey everyone, just wanted to give you a quick heads up. The second Global Product Owner Summit is coming soon. You can get all the details at bit.ly/Product Owner 2024. That's bit.ly/Product Owner 2024. And it's all lowercase, all one word. Oh, and stick with us until the end of the episode to know the dates and the tracks that we have for you in this year's summit. But for now, let's dive into today's episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Success Thursday this week with Stephanie Cully. Hey, Stephanie, welcome back.
Hey, I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. And the question we have is the question of the week, of course, what success means for Scrum Masters. But before we dive into that, Stephanie, do share with us, what's your favorite retrospective format and why?
So my favorite retrospective format is a little bit different. I started using this with one of my previous teams and I came across it. I love to use Miro. So anyone that's not using Miro, there's a ton of amazing templates out there, which gives you some suggestions on ways that you can help ask better questions of your team. And there was one, it was a Pac-Man retrospective. So fortunately, I had a team, they're really into retrospectives, making things more fun and interactive. And it wasn't even, typically you ask like, what went well? What are some things that we could change? Making sure you have action items. But it was the questions that warmed them up. So after we did an icebreaker, I had them just silently move on a scale of 1 to 10. What do you feel your level of impact was with this sprint? And then it was, how motivated were you this sprint? And do you feel that what we delivered was valuable? And it was pretty shocking to see the results on there. The motivation was so high. The developers, the team really wanted to do a great job. They wanted to help our customer, help the business. But it was really apparent that they felt like we weren't delivering great value. They felt like it was a really low level of impact. And probing them led me to understand that this could lead to a huge amount of demotivation and just frustration that, okay, I'm working on these things, but there's no return on investment. We're not providing anything of value for our customer. We're not providing anything of value. Like, we're not saving money for the company. We're not bringing in more revenue or building up the customer experience. So that helped us to have better conversations when we got into the retrospective. I don't remember the exact questions that we had in that Pac-Man retrospective, but I do remember asking them, okay, can you tell me more about this? Like, what was it about this sprint that we felt we were not delivering impactful items? And it was really, okay, well, we'll be working on something mid-sprint, and all of a sudden and this wasn't even from the product owner, like we had a problem even up from a higher level where we would have VPs all the way down to directors saying like, okay, well, we don't really need this anymore. Let's stop working on this. Let's start working on something else. And it's like, okay, well, I just spent a week on this. So what was the point of doing that? And even the things that they were working on instead, there was no direct value that we could understand to the customer. So we ended up having some conversations and action items and saying like, well, how can we change this? How can we make sure that we're delivering things that actually matter and not just creating some shiny object? And what the developers asked was, well, one, they said, let's take ownership and let's make sure that we're asking better questions in the refinement and planning sessions of, okay, we're delivering this, or even if it's mid-sprint, what do you hope to achieve? Like, what is the customer going to achieve by having this? How is this going to help the business or our customers or a product? And it was also being able to hold people at a higher level accountable, that it's like, just because you have a fancy title doesn't mean that we need to just start working on something that nobody's even going to use. So after that, and I think one of the things that is missed most often in the retrospective, and why so many developers become disengaged is because people have a conversation. Either they don't talk about difficult things. It's like a lot of fluff. This went really well. Like, let's not even address the elephant of the in the room of what did not go well. And even if they do have those conversations, okay, well, let's just write it down and then move on. And then they come to the next meeting and the next retrospective, and nothing has changed. So why is the team going to spend an hour out of their day talking about, happy things or things that need to be worked on if we're not going to do anything about it? So the team was really able to focus on those action items. I make sure, if it's something actionable that we can do in a sprint, let's say someone's like, well, I think that we should do a better job, let's say, adding a spike. So we want to do some research about a topic before we start building it out, or understand what's the work involved, or what's the proof of concept. We'll actually add that in as a user story in Jira and track it. If it's something that's more, we want to communicate better, like we need to start having conversations in Slack instead of just like here and there, one-off conversations and people aren't included, we'll talk about it at the end of the daily scrum. Just make it an additional question like, okay, these are the things that came out of the retrospective. How are we moving the needle closer to where we need to be?
Yeah, absolutely. And I really like how you presented that, just those questions that you had asked. And for the listeners, please go back and listen to the questions. The questions that you asked unlocked the whole conversation that wasn't being had, right? Like the conversation was kind of hiding. Of course, we do these retrospectives, Stephanie, because we want to be successful and we want to help our teams be successful. So let's talk about that for a moment. What does success mean in your mind for someone in the Scrum Master role?
Yeah, so I think success means being able to help others grow and make sure that you're delivering value. Sometimes we focus a little bit too much on, or people misunderstand what the Scrum Master role is. I even had a product owner the other day say to me, so is anything changing in Agile or Scrum where Scrum Masters will start helping out or like understand more of the product? And I had to ask, like, what do you mean by that? Yeah, I think the Scrum Masters, they facilitate events, they take meeting notes, things of that nature. So I think changing that perception by actually showing like, how do we help deliver value? For me, I don't think the highlights are, okay, I'm going to facilitate a meeting. I can even help my team to understand how to do those things and to show up even if a Scrum Master is on vacation. So making sure that your team, whether that's the product owner or like as a, Scrum team with the developer and the Scrum Master, are saying like, okay, this is what we're working on. What value is being delivered? And it, some people just focus so much on like, okay, well, now someone can process a claim. Okay, well, they can process a claim, but that's not the end of the story. Like, what happens if someone can't process a claim? Someone can't get paid out, or we lose a customer because they're frustrated. Like, what are the successful things that happened? You've increased your customer satisfaction, like someone actually got paid out, like you're able to continue to run your business effectively, maybe even eliminating a manual process. You're able to do that using software instead. So I think making sure that we're delivering value, and I think helping coach people that they can grow. So I gave an example not too long ago about the developer who came in and said, hey, I'm having this issue with another team member. We're not, I totally disagree with how he's treating people. Well, my job as a Scrum Master isn't just to resolve everything for them. My job is, how do I help them grow as a person? Both that's going to reflect in their personal life and in their professional life is, okay, A, they built the confidence to have that difficult conversation. Like they didn't just sweep it under the rug. B, they understood like, what are some ways to have like empathy and understanding of where that person is coming from, and have a conversation that's going to lead to more successful outcomes, and just building that resilience factor.
I really like that. There's a quote from Ted Lasso, which is, by the way, a great show on leadership, even though it's a sitcom. He says, for me, success is not about the wins and the losses. It's about helping those young fellas be the best version of themselves on and off the field. And I think that understanding, right? Like you said, it's not my job to solve the problem. It's my job to help them get the problem solved by themselves, of course, with my help if necessary, but by themselves, with their initiative, with their agency, right? And I think that, excuse me, that Ted Lasso's message is really about that. We are there to help people be the best versions of themselves, and that will have direct impact in how successful they are on and off the job, right? Like he talks about on and off the field because he's training a soccer team, but for us, we're coaching product development teams. It's on and off the job, and I think that's really important.
100%. I love that quote. I'll have to go back and rewatch that.
It's a great show. Definitely recommend it. We had a great talk about the Ted Lasso leadership model at the Agile Online Summit, and he has this big word that he puts on the dressing room. The word is believe, and somebody created a leadership model that uses those words to then describe how the leadership model is defined and what matters. I think it's a great talk, and the show is a great show. Also very amusing, a fun watch as well. Thank you for sharing all of those insights, and of course, what success means, the insights for that also, Stephanie.
Yeah, thanks for letting me share.
Hi there, Agile friends. Thank you for sticking around and listening to the details of the Product Owner Summit, this year's global summit dedicated to a critical Scrum role, the Product Owner role, of course. We'll have some amazing keynotes and 4 tracks filled with first-hand stories and experiences for product owners to learn more about that critical Scrum role. The summit will take place between April 23rd and 25th, so book your calendars. There will be loads of sessions for you to attend. One of the keynotes will be Dave West, the product owner and CEO at Scrum.org, one of the largest Scrum organizations in the world. If you want to know more, check out the details at bit.ly/product owner 2024. That's all one word, all lowercase, bit.ly/product owner 2024. We will also have 4 tracks. The 4 tracks will cover cross-functional product ownership. That's track 1. As Pixar's Ratatouille said, not every idea can be a great idea, but a great idea can come from anywhere. And this quote emphasizes the importance of a product owner being open to all ideas, regardless of the source, and also challenges us to focus on getting good ideas from everywhere and involving the whole team in the product owner role and responsibilities. The second track is Designing Products for Growth, where we explore how to craft products ready for scalable growth, merging practical strategies with innovation. The idea here is to learn to design products for growth, whether it is sales or customer acquisition. The third track is Know Your Users, user-centric approaches for agile development. In this track, we learn to master user-centric techniques in agile development, to deeply understand customer needs and transform insights into meaningful UX designs that focus on engagement and satisfaction. This is a track ideal for innovation-focused agile teams. And the fourth track, one of the most exciting tracks in my opinion, is product development with AI, ideas for product owners. Not only do we discuss about using AI in the products, but also AI for product owners to learn to make a bigger impact with the help of the AI tools that we already have. The Product Owner Summit will also present to you great opportunities to network with your peers. So get your ticket and join our Slack. You can get the ticket and join the Slack at bit.ly/product owner 2024. As always, we have free tickets and also the paid tickets that help to support this podcast. So check them out at bit.ly/product owner 2024. That's all lowercase, all one word, product owner 2024. I'll see you in the summit floor.